Are you struggling to create custom branded images for your website, your social media, your ads? Today I'm going to be sharing with you my quick workflow of what's currently working for me. If you don't know what I do, my name is Eugene. I've built more than 2,000 sites in the last 15 years. I have spent more than 20 mil on Google ads, lots of money on Facebook ads. The core of what I do is I rank my own personal websites. I have about 800 of those through the ranks, and I use those to push leads to my client campaigns. I flip those sites, I rent those sites. But today I'm going to be sharing a workload that I finally feel like some of these AI tools are worthy and they're delivering non-corny images. And this is one of the biggest frustrations that I have is I want to build a client a beautiful website, right? I want to build myself a beautiful website. And I'm sick of the repetitive stock images that look like they're all taken from somewhere in Eastern Europe where everyone's got receding hairlines. And then the construction photos are funny because all of the buildings in Eastern Europe are a little bit different than the buildings in Australia or in Canada or in the US. And you just know that those interior shots with those oil heaters on the walls, it's like, yeah, that's in Europe somewhere, or the windowsill. So the workflow that I'm about to show is essentially allowing me to create unique, meaningful images for the website, for the banner, for the blogs that is relevant to the content on that page. While there are more stock images than ever before, in the last few years we've had an eruption of AI images that some of them are worthy. It's still hard to find exactly that precise thing and then put the client's branding and our branding on it. Now, today's workflow, I feel, does that. So, first things first is I am going to, I need to move this over. Otherwise we're going to get some double screenage. Alright. How's that? Look, what I'm about to show you may not be pretty. These are just a few scraps that I've put together for it to make sense. Today I'm going to be sharing with you exactly the custom GPT that I'm using. I made it myself from the ground up, but it's really easy just to ask ChatGPT to make me a custom GPT, but you need to feed it some important stuff. And look, I've been tinkering with the design for pretty much my whole life. In 2000s, I was already quite good at Photoshop for questionable reasons, photoshopping people's degrees and the questionable things on people's faces, but hey, we all go through that phase in our life. Now, essentially, the first place this starts is understanding the client's or the website branding. Now, the branding and colors. Now, for an absolute example, I've just dug up dentist in New York City. I typed in dentist New York City and I found this website. Now, not the most favorite, but hey, it works. The first thing I'm going to pay attention to is their colors. I use a color picker tool over here. And what this tool allows me to do is just mouse over a blue or a green and it gets me the code of that color. This is important because I will then feed that color into the AI prompt to make sure that the colors and the direction is on brand. Now, what I will also do is I will also zoom in and try to get this logo as big as it possibly can be. And I will clip it and I will save it. Now, while I'm here, I'm actually just going to grab some of their images and it'll make sense in a second. I use another tool here called Image Downloader, and what this image is going to do is just going to grab some of the images from this website because then I will feed it into AI. So if we reword this a little bit, when the client provides me with some foundational photographs of the team, the reception area, or if it's a tradie, boys in action, you got the signage, you got the vehicle signage, you got t-shirts with the logo, that only makes this process much better. Right now I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel with the colors, with some images, but essentially I'm going to say, Mr. AI, here is the logo, here are the colors, go ahead and make me some images. But first I want AI to make me prompts first. So where we will initially begin is we've identified the colors, We've researched the client brand and we've basically grabbed some images. Now, for the sake of this exercise, I can also use some stock images, but these are the ones that we're trying to get away from, right? We want it to be somewhat unique to that particular business in that particular area. Sure, a lot of these are great. There's more options than ever before. A lot of these are already AI anyway. But the next step is the AI prompt. So we've got some logos, we've got some images, we've got some colors. Let's take a look at the AI prompt itself. Now, I am going to share the AI prompt, but right now I'm just going to show you the current setup. So all it is, I'm using, now this is ChatGPT, but I personally use a tool called Typing Mind, and Typing Mind allows me to connect MCPs much more reliably than ChatGPT. I feel like this isn't yet properly rolled out with ChatGPT, but I use a really cool tool called firecrawl.dev. So this tool doesn't cost much, connects to Typing Mind, and it makes sure that ChatGPT actually visits the URL that I give it. A lot of the time when you give ChatGPT a website, it just hallucinates. It doesn't visit it. Look, this video is not about that. I am gonna use ChatGPT for this exercise. So here's the creation of the custom GPT. You can see I've just named it URL to AI images and put today's date. Instructions I'll show you in just a second. You can paste them in and I'll read them out. And its conversation starters: provide a website URL or website text. And we're doing a web search. Look, I've also ticked image generation because ChatGPT can create images. I just felt like these images are good enough for a blog, but might not be good enough for a service page or a banner, but I've just ticked that for the sake of this exercise anyway. So this is just a rough text on my site. It's on this page where you can actually download the GPT, but what we are trying to achieve, and someone like me that has hundreds of websites, someone like you that might be a web dev that has the same problem, or you might have hundreds of products. There are seasonal products. You want to update them and whatnot. So the goal is to rely on expensive creating and design agencies less. They're still very much needed, and I think it's essential that you get professional foundational shots done because they only amplify this process. But that's what, sometimes when you're starting up a business, you just can't afford this kind of stuff. Or when, things are tough and you just can't afford that photo shoot. You have a whole bunch of media that we can reuse. AI allows you to rebuild the work of an entire creative team. And I've seen quite complex workflows that one click will just generate 50 t-shirts with 50 different blogs, and you can do this at massive scale. I personally don't do that. My workflows are very simple because I build more or less quite simple websites. So there are 7 visual building blocks that we must include in our prompt formula. Shot or photo type defines the perspective, such as a close-up or a drone shot, so tell it. Subject and action identifies who is in the image and what they are doing. Environment specifies the setting or where the action takes place. Color schemes dictates the overall palette, or black or white colors. Camera lenses controls. Now, I am terrible at England. I'm not a linguistics specialist, 3-year Monash PhD. My spelling is backwards, prehistoric kindergarten. I just asked ChatGPT to help me with these things. Okay? Now, you give the hardest job to the laziest guy and he'll find the quickest way to do it. I am that guy, and many years ago I fell in love with this space of SEO and digital marketing, and so I find the quickest and the best way to do it, and I just spend 24/7 obsessing over it. So I'll show you the custom GPT. Here we go. So this is what you literally paste into the custom GPT. You must make 10 various AI image creation prompts to generate high quality images for a new website being designed. So I've just go and do it. A website URL will be provided to you, and your job is to visit the website and answer the following questions about the website. So in this case, I just wanted to figure it out itself. I'm giving it lots of control. But normally you want to have the control. So there's variations of this GPT that I've created that are much, much more firmer. For example, if this is one of my rank and rent websites, I just don't have the time. I just wanted to make the call then and there, just give me the prompts. I don't want it to go middleman. But you can get it to ask you questions. So for example, purpose and use case. What type of website is this? Is it an e-commerce? Is it a blog, portfolio? Is it a landing page? Where will the images be used? Homepage, background, banner. So this prompt will actually ask you, what's the style? Do you have specific art style in mind? Photorealistic, cinematic, watercolor? Should the images be modern, futuristic, vintage, fantasy, surreal? Subject matter. What do you want the image to depict? Landscape, futuristic cities, people, animals. This is all in the prompt. Mood and atmosphere. What kind of emotions? Technical preferences. Now, this is just come from experience. I'm no super crazy photo expert, but I basically did the research on the kind of type of cameras, lenses, and effect styles. And what I've basically done is here's a list of known photorealistic prompts for you to decide which is best. Now, I've been working on these since ChatGPT first went live, since custom GPTs existed, since we could basically save prompts. So what you're seeing here is years of my mucking around. These were the final lists of different effects. Now, before making 10 prompts, confirm the answers to the above questions to ensure accuracy. So just for the sake of this exercise, let's go to this dental client. It's not a client, it's just a random website that I found. Let's go to ChatGPT, and what's most likely going to happen is today hasn't been in a good mood, and it's just saying I can't reach the site, which is my pet hate with ChatGPT at the moment. Here we go. I wasn't able to access the URL directly. That's why I selected you're able to do a web search. Earlier on this morning it was working. So this is why I personally use Typing Mind. And in Typing Mind I can select ChatGPT 5 and I can say visit this website hypothetically, and it will visit this website and get me all the information. So here we go, it's beginning. It's using the API of Firecrawl, and then it gets me the information of the site, whatever it is that I'm looking for. So I'm going to ignore that, and option number 2 is you ask it again. Hey, the site's fine. But what I'm going to do in this case is you just you go to the home page. This is going to be a bit barbaric, and I'm just going to select everything on the home page, and I'm just going to paste it in. That's what the Fire Dev Crawl does, and I'm just going to paste it in and let it clean it up. Once again, this is a rush job. You're obviously going to spend more time on it. What I usually like to do as well is I go to the About Us page, and I use another prompt that extracts a lot of value. Wow, this About Us page has a table of contents. That's interesting. This page, Oksana, mum's name. This page has a lot of value, so I should really load this with the text that I just gave ChatGPT. But for this exercise, I feel like it's already going to have perfect thank you based on the content. I can now do a full creative portfolio for this business. Now, I forgot to give the ChatGPT the color of this blue. Are we rolling with the blue or we're rolling with the green? We'll roll with this blue for the sake of this exercise. Here is the main color. Bang. I gave it the color code. Once again, I'm running over this really fast. You're going to spend more time supporting colors. Here we go. Homepage banner. Photorealistic. Canon is the camera. Sleek NYC dental office interior with white and silver decor. Here's the color. That's pretty good. Right, now this is a bit short. I don't know why. Normally I get a bit more juice, especially when I use Typing Mind, but this is already fine. Now, it's grabbed information about the homepage and it's given us some various prompts. But maybe I would like to, in my particular case, just this morning, for a dental site, here we go. Service pages, cosmetic dentistry. right? Or dental implants. I want specific images for that particular thing. So this is where I might say I only want prompts for that specific thing. Now, for the sake of this exercise, I'm just going to grab this prompt, and this is where I'm personally using FreePic. I've used them for years anyway for my stock images, but there are so many AI image platforms out there. I'm not the AI TikTok expert to tell you which ones to use, but Nano Banana at the moment is producing quite good stuff. So I'm going to go to image editor, and I am going to describe your image, photorealistic, and most importantly, I'm going to load up the logo and the images that I downloaded from the site. So here we go. I have loaded up the image from the logo. I have loaded up some images from the site, and I've just pasted in. Once again, I would normally spend a bit more time evolving that prompt, but just for the sake of this exercise, we want a big hero banner image. So I'm gonna go 16 by 9, right? 16 by 9, here we go. 120 credits. We pay an annual membership for many years to this company, so it's just nice that they're offering more cool stuff. There are a lot of other tools. I'm not gonna comment about the tools. While this is in a queue, we are going to go back to the GPT and say I would like specific prompts for children's dentistry services. Something like that. So just want children's dentistry. How are we doing with this? Check this out. So look how good this is. So let's go to the actual original site. Right? Let's have a look at... That's the dude! That's the same dude! How good is this? Look at the logo. It put it on glass. There's a shadow. Where did it even get that idea? Do these guys have something similar? No, they don't. It did that from such a simple prompt. You just want now for the business owner to go through this and make sure it is accurate. Now let's have a look at the next prompt. Okay. Photorealistic, friendly female dentist kneeling beside smiling child in modern New York City. Yeah, alright, sweet. Let's just rock and roll. Now, that's a banner-worthy photo for the website. Now, for a dentist that's starting up, that hasn't had any professional shots done, all they did was load this logo, photo of themselves. Happy days. Let's go to the next one. Now, in this case, I might want to make one of these service featured images. So in this case, I'm going to go to ratio, and I might do 3:2, so standard. And now I have Nano Banana selected, but there's a whole bunch of others. So for now, we're just going to use that one, and off we go. Now, this prompt can be evolved further. You can literally grab this and tell it what you want. This is quite a basic prompt. So, in a nutshell, just want to make sure that I'm covering off all the angles. We've uploaded client assets. We can upload up to 8 reference images. We can configure a generate. We can choose our ratios. Oh, that's another thing that we can do here. Look, I don't want this to be an ad for FreePic or Nano Banana. It might change in a month. I might be using something else in a month. That's what it feels like these days. This is cool. Look, it's tried to put the logo on the t-shirt. Maybe I don't like it. Maybe I might click edit image, and I might say, instead of the female dentist, use the male Asian dentist in the source images. I don't know, something like that. Thanks, Grammarly, for the spell check. I needed that. I definitely need the Grammarly for spell check. I haven't used this edit feature. That water wasn't tasty. Why is it not tasty? I haven't. It did it! It just did it! It gave me a few variations as well. What was that? That's like an in-between. That's it. That's the dude, isn't it? And it's got the logo there, blurred. It's got the logo there. Happy days. Hope that helps. So the custom GPT can be downloaded from this page. I don't know if this is the permalink I'm about to use. This blog is not ready. The video will be here. So if you're watching the video on YouTube, just access this blog post. But honestly, we can make a custom GPT together. Now, so I know what I want because I've been doing this manually for many years. But it all starts with just pressing. I like to talk to it and say, hey, I would like create a custom GPT that does this. It asks this. We want the setting. What have we got? Here are 7 visual blocks. We wanted to decide on the shot and photo type, subject and action, right? Like everything should be a custom GPT these days. If you're doing a repetitive tasks, obviously you can outsource it with a team member that's overseas or a team member that's local. But these days I outsource and I empower them with all of the world's best tools. That way we can create the best stuff at scale and deliver more of it. I hope that makes sense. But if we just simply grab this and grabbed everything that I've added on this page, make me an AI image prompt maker, custom GPT with this information. Slap it in there. See what it comes up with. You got to police it. It hallucinates a lot. Here we go. Custom GPT AI image prompt maker. We're making the prompt. Generate 10 high quality images. System core logic. This looks good because we fed it some good shit to begin with. Happy days. Would you like me to format this in? Nah, we could just paste this in. Grab this, paste it into custom GPT, and happy playing. Hope that helps.